Detroit printed lies on every brochure. Fake horsepower numbers, fake spec sheets. The government knew. The insurance companies knew. But the guys behind the wheel were running 11-second quarter miles in cars the brochure said were stock. These are the four engines that ran the greatest deception in American muscle history.
The silent assassin of this era was the Ford 428 Super Cobra Jet. This wasn't just another engine. It was a heavy-duty masterpiece featuring forged internals and an external oil cooler that looked like it belonged on a fighter jet. It was built to survive 1,000 street races and still drive to work on Monday morning. The Super Cobra Jet was the ultimate insurance cheat. By using a conservative rating, Ford allowed the Mustang and the Torino to fly under the radar. But under that hood sat a 735 CFM Holley carburetor that drank fuel like a sinking ship, designed specifically for the stoplight Grand Prix. When you floored a 428 SCJ, you felt 440 foot-pounds of torque trying to twist the very frame of the car. It didn't care about top speed. It cared about the first 60 feet of pavement. Today, this engine is considered a financial miracle, worth more than most luxury homes, because it represents the peak of Ford's total performance era. While Ford was being tactical, Mopar was being unapologetic. Enter the 440 six-pack. While the world was obsessed with the high-strung 426 Hemi, the smart money was buying the 440. The Hemi was a racehorse that hated cold mornings, but the 440 six-pack was a sledgehammer. It was the street brawler's secret weapon. It used 3 two-barrel carburetors that snapped open in sync to create a sound that felt like a physical punch to the chest. It was the poor man's Hemi, cheaper to buy and easier to maintain, but on the street, it would eat a Hemi for breakfast. The deception here wasn't about the name, but the delivery. The six-pack delivered its torque instantly, low in the power band, making it the most feared car at any red light in Detroit. Then there is the Boss 429, the most mysterious artifact in our vault. This was the ultimate homologation lie. Ford needed this engine for NASCAR, but to use it on the track, they had to sell 500 of them to the public in a production car. This engine was so massive that Ford had to literally cut the Mustang apart just to squeeze it in, moving shock towers and outsourcing the assembly to Carcraft. It featured crescent combustion chambers, Ford's answer to the Hemi. The lie was in its purpose. It was sold as a street engine, but it was a track assassin in disguise. On the street, it was often slower than the 428 because it was designed to breathe at 7,000 RPM on a banked oval, not at a red light in a small town. It remains a legendary piece of engineering that was almost too good for its own time. A homologation special that exists only because Ford wanted to dominate the high banks of Daytona. We cannot forget the underdog, the 383 Magnum. It didn't have the glamour of the 440 or the prestige of the Boss, but it was the backbone of Mopar's muscle. It was the engine that powered the working-class hero. It was high-revving, incredibly reliable, and surprisingly fast for its size. The 383 Magnum was the sleeper of the era. It allowed enthusiasts to own a genuine muscle car without drawing the attention of the authorities or the insurance adjusters. It was the quiet professional of the group, proving that you didn't need the biggest block on the block to leave your mark on the pavement. Mechanical warfare in 1969 was a sensory experience. It was the smell of high-octane fuel and burning oil that stayed in your clothes for days. It was the vibration of a V8 so powerful it makes your vision blur at the red line. In these machines, your shoes would melt on the floorboards from the heat of the headers. There was no traction control, no ABS, and no computer to save you from your own mistakes. It was an analog world where the driver and the machine had a handshake agreement. If you respect the metal, it will give you the world. If you don't, it will kill you. In the silent, screen-filled world of 2026, we have lost that connection. We have speed, but we don't have soul. We see this same spirit of defiance today in the final stand of the internal combustion engine. The modern Dodge Hellcat is the direct descendant of the 426 Hemi, a supercharged beast that has been banned from some tracks for being too fast for its own good. And the C6Z06 Corvette? That is the spiritual heir to the Boss 429 and the L88, a lightweight supercar that uses 7.0 liters of pure displacement to scream past cars that cost 5 times as much. These are not just cars, they are a middle finger to the silent future. They exist because the war that started in 1969 never truly ended. It just went underground, waiting for a new generation of rebels to pick up the torch. After 5 decades of history and thousands of miles of tire smoke, the Vault is ready to deliver its verdict on the class of 1969. The Street King, the 428 Super Cobra Jet. For its ability to lie to the world while dominating the stoplight Grand Prix, it remains the ultimate street weapon. The Track King, the Boss 429. A NASCAR engine forced into a streetcar, it is the peak of homologation madness. The Collector Icon, the 440 six-pack. For its raw sound and triple carburetor violence, it is the soul of Mopar. The Everyday Hero, the 383 Magnum. The reliable workhorse that brought muscle to the masses without the big block tax. Today, these engines are more than just iron and steel. They are religious artifacts. They represent the last time we were truly free to build monsters and the last time a lie could create a legend. Detroit will never tell lies like these again, and we will never see metal this raw again. If you breathe gasoline and live for the roar, you are home. This is USA Car Vault. Hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and help us keep this history alive. This is raw metal. This is raw guts. This is USA Car Vault. Keep the hammer down.